What is the right size box to ship your products in? In this video, I'm going to show you. Now, if you like this kind of information where I'm giving you bang up-to-date information all about making money online right here in Australia, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. That way I'll know you like this kind of stuff and I can give you more of it. Also consider subscribing to my YouTube channel because we post brand new information just like this each and every day. And if you've got any questions or any comments or any feedback, post them below and I'll be sure to answer them personally for you. With that being said, let's get into it.
One of the other things, so squash boxes is a major problem for us because we do a lot of shipping and we face this every single day. Product discrepancies, box discrepancies is another one. Let me just, I'll leave that nice little one there. And why do you get box discrepancies or dimensional discrepancies in boxes? And there's a few reasons for it. One is we've just discussed bulging, but let's put the bulging bit aside. One is the factory will tell you a dimension that is printed on the cardboard box because that's how they order them. Okay, and many times the manufacturer will stamp the size of the box on the box. Now the problem, there's a couple of problems with that. And we order thousands of boxes a year because we do bundling and reboxing for hundreds of customers. So we very well know, and we deal with a number of different box suppliers, and it happens all the time. Box suppliers can't make the sizes consistent. It's impossible. Sometimes we'll get a 55 dimension box, it'll be 56, or it'll be 54.5. They just can't get it exact every single time. So that's one thing. The other is when you're ordering boxes, you don't know what dimension they're actually using, whether it's the inner box dimension or the outer box dimension. You don't. You actually have to specifically ask them, and that's like pulling teeth in China, honestly. So when we order them, we have to be very specific from the box manufacturers. And we always get internal dimensions because that's what we need customers' boxes, product boxes to fit inside. One of the dangers you run into is if you don't specify, if you're trying to bundle a job and you don't specify the inner dimension is what you want, you'll get a box that they give you the outer dimension that should be the inner dimension and your product boxes don't fit. And we've had lots of customers order their own boxes, send them to us, and they don't fit because the manufacturer made it to outer dimension, and that could be 2 centimeters difference. So therefore the inner boxes no longer fit. So discrepancy, the factory, you don't know if they've printed on the box what the carton size is. There's 2 things there. If that's the outer dimension or the inner dimension, number 1. Number 2, the box factories only ever measure it from the top and bottom of the box and the sides, right? The problem is the top and bottom has the lid, right? So you've got 2 flaps on the top and you got 2 flaps on the bottom. That's not in your box dimensions. So that can add 1 to 2 centimeters easily to your overall box heights. And that's where people get caught heaps and heaps, right? And we see it regularly on our inspection reports. Box dimensions don't match what's printed on the box because we actually measure the box once it's packed and closed, top to bottom. So we're accounting for the flaps, which the box factories don't put on the measurements of the box. The other discrepancy is measuring a box. They give you the box dimensions, when it's unpacked. And there can be a great difference between an unpacked box dimension and a packed box dimension. All right. So I'm not saying that, that an answer to it. It's just these are the reasons that you will constantly find discrepancies in your boxes. So there's a number of reasons why you will get discrepancies in your carton sizes, and we often get people saying, "Well, that's what the factory told me," but to us that doesn't mean too much, because it could be a number of different factors why it's not right. And I'm just trying to give you people an understanding of what the reasons can be. Not much you can do about it, but some people take advantage of it. Some shippers take advantage of it, and there's some ripping people off left, right, and centre with it. But we try, and if we get a discrepancy, we try and get a picture off the warehouse to show what the actual size is. And it doesn't matter what the factory told you, what size it is when it gets to the warehouse, that's what size it's going to be based on. End of story. So if it's bulging, you're going to pay for it. Okay. If you've taped it across the top on the join and the tape's not adhered well, or it's fully packed, right, and it's starting to bulge out, the ends, I've got a little image, I just couldn't find it here. Let me just see if I've got it.
So just while Shane finds that, I'll give you a little story from my own Amazon business. We were packing skincare, which had already been packaged, and then we had sealed that packaging, and we thought that our boxes would be able to beautifully fit all these packaged skincare products. So there was no gaps, and it was, very, very tight, very snug. And indeed, the packaging had been designed based on the box dimensions that we'd got from our supplier, so that we could fit them all in perfectly. And we were going to fit X number of packages, like units, into each box. Everything gets done, everything gets sorted out, comes to the actual putting the units into these cartons ready to go. Turns out, like Shano said, we've been given the dimensions incorrectly. So we've been given the dimensions of the internal, and we'd assume that they were the external. And so now we couldn't, not only did we require more boxes, which of course is huge in terms of the shipping cost, but also we required then additional packaging materials to make sure that the stuff that we're putting into our boxes wasn't going to get bundled all over the place and moved all around. So our costs just skyrocketed on the back of that. So that's a really, really good tip from Shane, just to make sure you're getting the right things. It really cost us a fortune by not doing that.
Yeah, don't be shy to question your suppliers. I mean, a lot of people seem they don't want to offend them or don't want to give them a hard time. They're busy. Tough titties. It's your money, and I've seen everything. Honestly, 21 years of doing this stuff and having my own companies, which I don't sell anymore. But I could write a couple of novels on the disasters that happen here. So this one should be, let me just make it a bit bigger. Okay, it should be 50 centimeters. All right, and as you can see on the joins, the end of the lids, it is. However, it hasn't been taped properly, right? Or, boxes just tend to bulge in transit. So it's now become 51 centimeters. And you can argue till you're black and blue with whatever freight company you're using. If they tell you it's now 51 centimeters and they send you this picture, they're going to charge you 51 centimeters because that's actually what they're measuring. That's what it is. The fact that the tape wasn't on properly, they don't give a hoot about that. Right? And they're going to get charged, and they're going to load it in the containers based on that dimension. So it's very, very easy to get variations in your box dimensions from what, even when we do an inspection, and we'll give you a box dimension. Doesn't mean that that's the same dimension it's going to end up with by the time it gets to the port warehouse. Okay, there's just so many variables and so many things that can go wrong, and they do.
That was a video from my regular Monday night Q&A session with the members of the Aussie Online Entrepreneurs. We're a community of over 2,500 e-commerce entrepreneurs right here in Australia. We're the fastest growing community here in Australia as well, with sales of over $50 million online. If you'd like to find out more about what we do, and of course come and join us, get yourself off to www.aussieonlineentrepreneurs.com.au, follow the link below, and I'll see you on the inside. Till then, bye.